punish potential that you can look to take advantage of with the superior control that you have, which they never fully utilized. Fnatic just constantly conceding all of this control that they had worked so hard to get themselves.
You can see a almost look of resignation there on Amazing's face. I wonder whether you need to aim the carry somewhere else for this game just to allow him to get back into it, get his motivation back up a little bit. The Shen banned out Kha'Zix once again, Fizz from Giant, so pretty similar bans to game one. That Fizz, of course, was banned in the second rotation. Fnatic have chosen red side, and we'll be looking to see perhaps if they can utilize those first two power picks a little bit more effectively.
Still the respect going out towards Knight. And I think that if they want to look to repeat themselves, I think that if you are Fnatic, oh, interesting, the Giants are actually the team to ban away the Camille. This will give a little bit more freedom towards Fnatic Academy. They could just ban away the Nautilus if they wanted to, a champion that Flaxis has played a lot of during the regular season. Fascinating. They've really just shifted up their playstyle. I feel like Memento, he actually hasn't shifted very much towards champions like Rengar. He has much more success on the Kha'Zix and the Graves. Now they're really limiting his jungle pool, and they're actually forcing Giants to first rotate a jungle here like the Graves so that they can maybe get themselves like an early release for Amazing, where he's had a lot of success on, and they could also get themselves another power pick, maybe in the form of perhaps they want the Varus. I don't think it was a key pick. Maybe they want to go for the Malzahar themselves. Maybe they want to early rotate a Zyra too. It gives them a lot of options.
There's a huge amount of options. You have to always think about what the enemy team's going to counter it with as well, though. The Malzahar pick is strong, but we know that Lulu works relatively well into that and that she is still available. I'd much prefer, generally, to see Fnatic go for Kikis on a power pick. The Gragas was great. He had some great engages, but it did not have the same impact as he's had on Echo, as he's had on Camille, as he's had on these people who have the ability to jump onto the backline a little bit more. They get themselves the Lulu once again. Lee Sin for Amazing, so they are putting the impetus back onto Amazing to carry.
They are. He has had some good performances on it in the past. Back when he was on the Copenhagen Wolves, Amazing made a name for himself on Lee Sin. See if he can do it again. Now, if you are Giants, I expect something like a Zyra Varus rotation here, or maybe even a Zyra Ashe. I think that it would be a very strong bottom lane. I feel like it's a bit of a gamble to pick the Malzahar once again. Like, you saw how early on Fnatic Academy rushed all those QSSs. Bad at the same time, it also delays your spike because you're forced into that sort of early itemization. They have a little bit free, and they could also just go for a similar comp to what they went in game one and just lock themselves the Rumble in here.
The question is, though, Fnatic Academy, the Akali is on the cards here. They do have that second pick. I've never seen Akali into Rumble, I don't think. I've seen Akali into Nautilus twice with you a couple of weeks ago. It is still a possibility, and it was banned out against Kikis last game.
I think that the Fizz is a bigger pick into the Rumble than the Akali is. Akali really suffers early on into the Rumble matchup. While she does naturally do well once she hits the level 6 mark, especially given that she can actually itemize a lot of magic resistance early on. For the time being, that's not going to be the focus of Fnatic Academy.
Almost mirror comps from these two teams.
It is, right? Like, Fnatic Academy, I mean, to be fair to Fnatic, like, this composition was giving them a lot of leads early. They were the ones that, for the majority of the game, were in control. You said it yourself, which was Giants ended that game on a deficit. So it wasn't like that this composition was super strong for Giants. And I want to see a shift.
Why is there a Kled ban?
Perhaps this is the research that we were talking about.
Yeah, Kikis could have been playing Kled, and it is a strong split pusher, strong in the 1v1 as well. I was shocked enough that I interrupted you, Vedius, and I apologize.
Fine, my friend. That's absolutely fine.
It's like when Akali was picked last week and you let out your little shriek of delight.
Yeah. So now if you're Giants, the possible bans. Maybe they ban the Syndra here, just take it off from Niski, had a good performance. No, they're actually going to go for another mid lane ban instead. This will actually, what I want to see from Knight is I think that something like a Cassio would be really good here. Yeah. Or just shift onto a control mage, like an Orianna or a Victor, or maybe even an Azir. Like, when you think of control mages, Azir is usually the one that he goes for. And I think that it would make more sense because I think it's just safer and it's more blind pickable. And Karma, natural sense, like both Malz and Zyra are banned away, so that's also a big popular pick for Hustlin.
Yeah, second most picked across the split after that Zyra. I was thinking maybe the Braum, which had been taken away last time, but the Karma, as you say, a lot more sense in that lane, has the better push potential. Probably going to be locked in here for Giants, and they're thinking a lot about this final pick as well. They knew they were going to take the Karma, using that extra time to decide exactly where they want Knight to go. They've got a lot of damage on the rest of their team, just need someone who can control the fight. for them in that mid lane?
I think they could go Azir here. I don't want to see Knight on another assassin like Ahri again, because I think that his impact in fights was not as strong as it could have been. I also wasn't a massive fan of his build path, and now I'm expecting Fnatic Academy to just draft themselves the Syndra again. Sure, like, Ahri's a pretty safe pick in the meta right now. She has decent wave clear once she gets a couple of items under her belt. She can move off into a side lane. If you play her well, her team fight impact can be pretty massive. But I think it's a risky, right? Like, when we think back to Game 1 and Knight's actual impact in the fights, I don't think it was monumental. And I think there were safer options. But regardless, they're going to go for pretty much exactly what they went for in Game 1.
It makes sense. A couple of switches on either team. So Giants, instead of having the Malzahar support, have the Karma instead. Fnatic take the Lee Sin Nautilus top lane duo instead of the Urengar and the... what did they have last game? For some reason, just left my head. Gragas, yeah. Very similar roles across the board, and both you can understand that from both teams. Both, like, Giants won, Fnatic had a strong early game, the Lee Sin only facilitates that further.
Yeah, I think we're seeing exactly the same sort of play style. Giants, again, with the 1-3-1, they have decent team fighting, but it is harder to execute because you do have the Ahri in there. When you're looking at Fnatic Academy, another great team fighting composition, really good at finding picks and skirmishing in particular. But the big thing I really want to see shift from Fnatic is they had a really good early game lead. They had so much control over the map, and they conceded every time they went to set up around an objective. They gave up so much control that they had completely for free. And I want to start to see them using their vision to find better fights, to find these picks, to force these skirmishes, which is what their composition excels at. And I do not want to see another 50-minute throw fiesta where either team just opens that patio door, like taking it in turns to walk through it.
50 minutes means more League of Legends, and it means I get to get even more excited as the game gets
Maybe you'll get both your knees up onto the desk.
Maybe I will. If you guys think you know who's going to win, make sure you tweet at us at LOL Esports. Hashtag GIA win if you think they're going to go 2-0 up in this series, and hashtag FNA win if you think Fnatic Academy will get back into the action. On to Summoner's Rift already. I want to come back to something we've talked about in both picks and bans, Vedius. The idea that Fnatic are going towards more pick skirmish-orientated comps, because up until now, and in all of the research we've done, we've been saying that they're very much a 1-3-1 comp. They have Kikis in the side lane, he splits, he plays the Akali, he plays the Camille. You have Niski in the side lane, he pushes. Here, neither of these compositions have been drafted towards that.
No. I think that for Giants, this is a very standard Giants comp. I think this is something that we've seen a lot from them during the regular season. But for Fnatic, I agree with you in the sense that we're not seeing Kikis on a...
You don't want to be there, flashes away, does still have the exhaust, but there's no escape for him today. Giants take first blood. Head in your hands there for a second, but it's just like, well...
I just... Face checking at level 1, I think, is a very risky maneuver, is the diplomatic way of saying things. I think you've rubbed your hands so hard there that it actually came through the mic.
I think what Fnatic have realized, right, is they got first blood because of something like that in first game, right, and they lost. So now what they've said is, we'll do that to Giants, we'll give them the first blood. Okay? Hasn't gone onto the jungle, that would have been just serendipity, but give them the first blood, and they'll play the early game really well, get good vision control, and then at 50 minutes, we'll win a fight, and we'll win the game.
I don't think that was their strategy coming in. Let's see how well they do, because now the risk you have is that Clyde doesn't have flash. The Ezreal Lulu bottom lane has the potential to push a lot, just like we saw in Game 1. But now when you're going up against the Karma as well, there's a lot more wave clear. So now there's the possibility of maybe a dive for the Giants down in the bottom lane.
Not the easiest bot lane to dive, Ezreal Lulu.
But when she has no flash and she's under-leveled and she's pretty squishy, and Hiku's already got himself the longsword, there's the possibility.
Definitely, definitely is.
Something always worth considering. But again, like, the control is what I want to see more from Fnatic. Now, we talked a little bit about this mid lane matchup last split. Probably
did, yeah.
We also need to talk about it this game as well. What I think the smart itemization from Knight should be is you go for an early Megatron cloak, and then you go into the Morello Nomicon. For me, that's the much better split pushing and team fighting build, because you have so much more mana, you have a lot of early ability power, which really helps with wave clear. And I just think that it is a perfect item for Ahri overall. Now, he may very well go for the full burst style play, which worked out at the very end for him when he was able to get 4 or 5 items. But if you don't snowball, I feel like it's not the strongest of builds. So we'll have to see if Knight shifts things up coming into game 2.
Well, you know what hasn't shifted?
Tell me.
Infernal Drake. It's back on Summoners Rift, 4th one in 2 games.
You do bring the fire to the Summoners Rift, Medic.
Hey, you bring the fire to my heart as well, Vedius.
To your heart?
Yeah.
That's very sweet of you.
No problem at all, Vedius.
Great.
Well, you can always tell when a caster's thinking of what to say next, because they really slow down while they're saying, no problem at all.
That is fine,
Vedius.
Medic. No worries.
Okay, so lead it for EQ in the bottom lane here. Has a little bit of a CS advantage as well, as expected with that first blood. Top lane, once again, we're going to see Flaxus pushing this in. Amazing has the opportunity for a gank. Lee Sin, very strong, is going to try and flank with this blast curve.
Here we go. He's walked completely around the vision. Flaxus doesn't see this coming.
Such intelligent play by Amazing, looking for the first gank. There's the staggering blows onto Flaxus. Does have the flash. Here comes Amazing. Flash away by Flaxus, but the Sonic Wave is not going to connect. It's a minion. Flaxus trying to burn through kickers. It's not enough. Amazing gets the first kill for Fnatic.
Amazing does miss the Q, but it doesn't matter with the minions, with the 2-man unit of both Kikis and Amazing. They get themselves first blood in the top lane.
Second blood.
Second blood, of course. My apologies, my apologies. Really smart pathing from Amazing. Not only avoiding the Scuttle Crab ward, but also being able to use the Blast Clone to avoid the Tri-Brush ward that was put in there from Flaxish as well. So it wasn't like Flaxish wasn't considering the possibility of a gank. It was just that Amazing taking a creative path in order to avoid being spotted out.
That's what plants allow you to do as well. One of the reasons I really like seeing them on the Rift is the ability to dodge around vision like that. Now, Flaxus doesn't have flash anymore. Didn't use TP either to get back to the lane, so does have his teleport, but it makes it such a difficult lane for him to play because as Rumble, you naturally push that lane up.
Would you say that he was Flax-ish-less?
I would not, because I'm not that bad at making jokes.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the vision because we do love it so much. You can actually see a lot of early investment from Giants in the bottom half of the map. Very early control ward actually on the blue of Fnatic Academy, which means the Giants, they're already thinking about the possibility of a dive down bottom. Now, it will be difficult because what you need is push around mid, and Knight won't really be able to push into Niski until around the level 7 mark, where he's been able to get about 4 points into his queue. And it does look like right now, he's early itemized the Null Magic Mantle, so maybe he's going to shift up his build path to what we were discussing earlier on.
And there's a symmetry between these wards as well. As you can see, Fnatic Academy have decided to light up that blue side jungle. They spotted a Memento as he came up towards this top side, meaning that kickers can play that ever so slight bit safer. Fnatic Academy pushed down towards their turret here, but Klein now has flash back up, and that makes that lane a lot easier. Question is, how much does kickers respect Memento here? Because he knows Memento's on the top side of the map, and he probably realizes something's up because of the way Flaxus is trading.
Now, I just very want to quickly check how far away Flaxus is from level 6. He's pretty far. Kikis just hit it.
Lands the dredge line. There's the death charge up as well. Amazing joins the fray. Memento trying to block the Sonic Wave. Amazing flashes, misses. Flaxus dodges back. And Giants will stop that fight.
So double flash actually burnt for Fnatic Academy up in the top lane. If Flaxish was 6, there was a big possibility for him to be able to turn it around. But because of the early kill coming out from Amazing, that will be an advantage gained for the side of Giants. Now, whether or not this was just Memento trying to set up a gank or whether or not he was reading Amazing, expecting him to come for another play top, is up for debate. But regardless, he was there.
Give him the credit.
He was in the right time and place, and he was able to stop Amazing, snowballing that lead further in Kikis' favor.
Not too much of a shock that Amazing went back towards that top lane as well. As we said, the Rumble pushes in, didn't have flash, meant that he had to be up towards that top side. Amazing comes towards mid. Once again, actually falls slightly behind in XP. He's almost about to hit level 6, but Memento's already there on this Graves. Has managed to farm himself up.
Now again, look at the control around the river. A lot of this vision that Giants had been setting up earlier on, likely to get cleared out right now. So what you can do if you're Giants is you push up mid. Oh, okay. So Memento, I think this is a slight mistake.
Why so? Why so?
Only because, like, what Memento's deciding is he's going to steal away the red, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with stealing away the red. But you would expect Amazing to pass towards the red because it is now respawning, which means that because, look, Ari's already pushed that mid lane, bottom has current push priority, there is full vision control around the river, and I feel like this actually would have been a big window for Giants to just go straight for that dragon, uncontested, because Syndra, she would have been forced to catch the wave, and now Fnatic might be going for a collapse onto Memento.
Kikis, though, does have 2 members closing in on him as well with Dredgeline away and gets himself to safety. That vision control is still there for Giants as well. 2 control wards down towards that blue side of Fnatic Academy means that they are able to keep control over the river and will spot this blue when it comes up.
So yeah, probably a bit unfair of me to say that it was a mistake for Memento, but I think that it wasn't the most optimal decision that he could have made, right?
It's about efficiency in the jungle.
Yeah, and it had the possibility of being a free Infernal Drake. Regardless, he's still able to steal away the red buff. As you rightly said, they haven't lost any control around the dragon. The possibility of this play is still available. A little actually a bit inconvenient, the blue time for Knight, because he's now going to want to go back to base just as he gets the blue buff. As a mid laner, it's always sad, because now you're going to lose at least like 20 to 30 seconds of your blue that you could have been using to destroy your lane opponent.
Niski already went back. Amazing will donate this blue off towards his mid laner. Spots out the control ward as well to clear that one out. Coming back to Knight, though, he's a player that perhaps people won't realize how experienced he is at this sort of level. He played in the Korean Challenger Series for Ever 8, has had over a year and a half of experience at this sort of level of play. And so he'll be used to these sort of more chaotic fights. He'll be used to that. And we saw it paying off dividends in game 1, where when it got down to the down and dirty in those big 5v5 fights, he was finding his target on this army.
Well, mechanically, Knight has always been considered very strong as
Unleashed power, not going to be enough because of the magic resist.
So this time, Knight getting himself the early null magic mantle, rather than going towards the proto belt. So here we go. Right now, Fnatic, they've set it themselves up for the dragon. They have good control over it. Will they just concede? Or will they be able to get it for themselves?
Oh, Memento wants a sneaky steal. Amazing there. Exhaust comes down. Dragon low. Amazing gets it. Pays for it with his life. Memento can chase if he wants. Decides against it. Casualis is there. It's a kill for a dragon. I know which one I'd have.
It was a smite for Smite, which Memento just ended up losing. Now Giants. Ooh, good pathing from Memento and Hustlin, forcing Niski to go all the way around so that they can get priority onto mid lane and start chipping onto that tower.
Having that push potential is so much stronger. Niski forced back by the Inner Flame as well. 3 members of Giants do gather up here. 4 actually with EQ there. They might even get this tower. EQ flashes in with a chain, doesn't land. And
zoning ulti.
The minions are going to die though. Actually, Giants have put a lot into trying to get this chase off. Not going to be able to manage it. Hustling, dodging around.
And look at the bottom lane. You can see that Rales successfully pushes the minion wave underneath the tower.
Amazing has kick. Trying to channel his inner Lyra.
Lyra?
Yes, oh, so I watched the NA promotion series, and Envy won the game off Lyra, landing a superb kick.
Yes, I remember, I recall.
It was amazing. It wasn't actually, it was Lyra, but still very good kick at the end of the series.
Yeah, no, I remember that. Made a front page of Reddit. Right now, here we go. Vision, fight.
It's where we get all our information.
NA?
No,
oh, Reddit. Oh, I see, yeah.
Well, these teams seem to have got their information from NA because it was a bit of a dirty, messy fight in game 1. Not as clean as we are used to expecting from Europe. Amazing trying to make a clean play up towards the top side here. Flaxus does have flash, equalizer up as well. He's going to try and draw them into the wall and then put down the ult, but he's knocked up and kicked back and taken down by Fnatic.
Easy kill for Amazing. Once again, trying to help his top lane buddy kick us out. Very easy kill. Not much more to add, really. The fact that Amazing kicked him out of the ultimate just added insult to injury. Flaxus, she didn't bother using his flash either.
Ooh, turret goes low. Knight jumps in, exhausted straight away. Spirit rushes out, gets the tower though. First tower going down to Giants. First blood and first tower, good indicators for them this game as they take a 2,000 gold lead.
Yep. A lot of it stems off of the first blood that went actually in favor of EQ, because it meant that Giants could always push down bottom, knowing that there was always that control. Memento couldn't just invest a lot of his vision more towards the top side. You also had Knight, by shifting up his itemization, had a little bit more wave clear in mid, so that he had more control too.
He's now completed this Abyssal Scepter. Yeah, I knew this was the reaction I was going to get, which is why I said it. Vedius, I hear so many analysts saying, don't complete Abyssal Scepter. To me, as a lower level player, I say, why not? You know, you get AP, you get magic resist, it builds out of what you're building. Why shouldn't you complete the Abyssal Scepter?
Right, well, we can talk a little bit about it afterwards, because I can actually see both 4-man units moving towards his bottom lane. So let's see what Fnatic can do.
Karma on the flank, hustling, looking for it. There's not that many minions here. Fnatic will jump away. Memento's on his way as well, as you said. But it looks like they're just going to disengage from the fight.
Right, so now that both teams are disengaging, to come back to this Abyssal point, to look at it in depth, I would highly recommend that people Google Shakarez article
he made
on
a great
Abyssal.
article on it, yeah.
He put a really in-depth article out that really explains the difference. Like, it's super cost effective to go towards the components of Morellonomicon, and the amount of magic resistance that you get from Abyssal, like the amount of cost that it requires in order to upgrade this item is not necessarily worth it, right?
So it's not the most efficient build path.
It's not a very efficient build path, and like the amount of damage and value that you get out of it too, especially for a champion like Ari. She is so mana dependent because of how high the mana costs are on her Q and how small her mana pool is. On top of that, she has really high cooldowns in early levels, so being able to get that early cooldown reduction is just super valuable. And also recently, the amount of AP that was on the Abyssal Scepter got reduced as well. So right now, you get I think it's, yeah, you get about 60 ability power from the Abyssal, you get 100 from the Morello. So, yes, this makes me sad, please don't do this. Regardless, let's see, Giants right now setting up for a dive on the bottom tower. Should be able to get it for free.
Just need the turret. Fnatic backed away because they saw Knight coming across, and Memento's done a really good job of coming towards these towers, getting objectives for his team early on. He's been a sort of sink or swim jungler for Giants a lot of the time. You've seen Knight getting traded on. Nisqy actually might look for this because he's got the unleashed power. Knight jumps away with the Abyssal. The extra magic resist saves him, Vedius. It didn't.
He would have survived anyway. And
whatever you, Flaxish.
Hello, Flaxish.
That's not where you want to be at all. Fnatic collapse, get the kill. 3-2, Fnatic Academy.
Gonna have to backtrack and see exactly how that happened. Looks like Flaxish TP'd in to try and help out his mid laner. Ended up helping out Fnatic Academy by giving them a kill. Now we actually see 4-man unit. They're looking for a dive mid.
Amazing. Does have the kick up and the flash. Not going to go for it. Memento was able to clear out the jungle. The play reeks of desperation to me there from Flaxis. It feels very much like, you know, the play that you make when Amazing's been camping you in the top lane. You haven't really had any impact. You haven't been able to do too much. You try and help out your team. You don't cancel the TP when you should, and you get caught out. I
would say that that was just a breakdown in communication. Flaxish thought that something was happening when the rest of the team didn't. Difficult to say without listening in, but that was a mistake from Flaxish, straight up. The famous words of Kobe, that TP sucked. And it will result in a little bit more control for Fnatic, especially in the top side of the map, because now Kikis, not only does he have a level advantage over Flaxish, but 3 assists, very nearly completed his Spirit Visage, which will be really helpful when he moves off into a side lane. But now, look, Mountain Drake going to be spawning soon, another very valuable Drake that both teams are going to want to contest. Fnatic were able to get themselves the first one. Let's see if they are able to maintain control or can gain control and then look to take it for themselves.
And although Giants are behind on the scoreboard, their gold is actually in their favor by about 1,500 because of these towers they've been taking. CS across the board is relatively even, a little bit of a lead in mid lane for Nisqy. Amazing's done a very good job in this early game, and Memento has been matching him, although not with the kills, more with towers and objectives. Chain of Corruption actually up to Nisqy. Hustlin flashes in with the exhaust. Flaxish is here, does have the equalizer, and Nisqy's gonna burn down. Hiku takes the kill. Fnatic looking for the re-engage though. There's a TP coming in. Kickers gets the depth charge onto Hiku, who flashes the wall. Flaxish is now caught off guard, but Knight catches Mr. Rales. Hiku takes him out. Amazing now trying to get back to the rest of his team. He did get the kill onto the Rumble, but Knight and Giants want the chase. It's a 3v3. Flash away from Kickers. Charm doesn't connect. The Giants managed to equalize the score.
Another messy fight for both teams. It ends up in a 2-for-2, but Giants, they still have their carries alive. No smite though, so I don't know if they're going to look to take that dragon. But still, the fact that it was equalized after what looked like a very harshly forced play from Giants could have ended in disaster for them. So you can see that an ultimate from Hiku, I think that this is already a bit risky because the collapse, like so many people were forced to flash to either follow up on that engage. You're then forcing Memento into this choke point, which makes it really easy for the rest of Fnatic Academy to collapse. And it's just the weird coordination that you're seeing from both Giants and Fnatic Academy, because at this point, Fnatic, they could have just disengaged, or maybe they could have just wave cleared and then looked to put some damage down onto that tower. Instead, they hard commit, and that gives room for Knight to then come in from the flank. And it's just, I really want to emphasize, it's very much a communication issue where teams just are not properly talking about their intentions.
It felt like a very late equalizer from Flaxish as well. Had it up for the entire fight. Could have blocked off that passageway leading into the fight as well. We do see the tower going down in the top lane for Fnatic Academy. They went straight up there during that replay. Mountain Drake, however, taken by Giants. So it's a dragon for a dragon. Fnatic have the fire, but Giants are rock steady in this game. Still in that gold lead as well.
Now, Hiku this game, he is currently 3-0-0. Bot lane going a little bit more towards what he would have wanted.
You don't say, 3 kills, yeah.
Yeah.
Most AD carries want that early on.
Always lovely. Now, if you are Rales, interesting that he's actually shifted towards getting a very early Blade of the Ruin King rather than going for the Trinity Force. This to me implies that he just wants a little bit more team fight damage now rather than waiting for the full completion of the expensive Trinity Force item. I think that that's just going to delay your spike more, personally. I think it is okay against at this point in the game because of the natural stats that it gives you. It gives you a little bit more tankiness, helps you kite a little bit more. Tankiness, what am I talking about? It gives you a little bit more damage and also gives you a little bit more kiteability.
Pseudo-tankiness with the sustain from the lifesteal as well, I guess you could say.
That's where I was going with it. Thanks
obviously.
for the save, yeah.
I think, though, you say it gives them a little bit more damage in team fights. Does that not play into Fnatic's composition, into Giants here? Because Giants have a very powerful mid-game spike with the Rumble, with the Ahri, with the Varus, who obviously scales later on. Does he not want more damage now so that they can hold back Fnatic and hold back Giants and then scale later on? I
mean, there's the possibility, but I feel like the better option would have been to just go for the Trinity Force if you want that better mid-game spike. Right now, it's a little bit difficult for Giants to force a huge amount. Right now, they're grouping up in the top side. They've sent Rumble down bottom. They've got a good push up in mids, which isn't going to be picked up by anyone for Fnatic because they're pretty desperate to hold on to this mid-tier 1.
And this is something we see quite a lot at sort of challenger level, low LCS level, is the idea of playing 2 lanes instead of playing 3 lanes. Now, it's not perfectly exemplified here, but if you have someone in the mid to pick up that CS and have someone bot as the CS pushes in, you get more experience and more gold as a team. What Fnatic are doing are reacting to Giants' plays rather than proactively saying, okay, we know Giants are going to do this, let's put 3 members who can clear in top and then have our carries or someone else picking up farm across the rest of the map and getting ourselves back into the game a little bit quicker.
Very valid point. And for the time being, the fact that Kikis getting very late to this bottom lane means that he's lost an entire wave of farm, has closed the gap a little bit between Flaxish and Kikis as well. Remember that he was a whole level down, and now in terms of experience, he certainly has been catching up. The gold is a little bit better for him as well. Very expecting him to go more towards like a Void Staff, a lot more penetration with all the magic resistance that's coming out from the side of Fnatic Academy. You can see that now all 3 waves are pushing in favor of Giants. This is allowing them to slowly work their vision into Giant. Ooh.
Amazing, just caught out. That was a shock. Must have just been charmed underneath the tower. It looks like Knight Spirit rushed. Hopefully we can get a replay of that just to see exactly what happened. But is the turret falling? Fnatic staying too long trying to defend a tower that was always going to crumble.
But it surprises me that they would actually send Rales top rather than Niski, because he has much stronger wave clear compared to Rales at this point in the game. Well, I mean, at all points of the game. But also, Rales has his ultimate that he can use from the other side of the map, right? So if things are getting a little bit too hairy, you throw the Air's ult up to the top lane. You then have Niski with his wave clear and his possibility of landing the stun that Giants always have to respect. And so I would argue slightly weak lane assignments coming out from the side of Fnatic Academy, resulting in Giants now getting themselves their 3rd out of tower.
And once again, it's those macro decisions that we talk about for Fnatic that sometimes let them down. Giants, 20 minutes in, now have a 3,000 gold lead. It's basically exactly the same as it was for Fnatic in the last game. It's mirrored. It's what happened, you know. They gave away the first blood, 3,000 gold lead. At 25 minutes, it will be 5,000. Then it will only be 2,000 in favor of Giants. No, taking that one perhaps a little bit to the extreme. But earlier on we talked about this Ezreal itemization with the Blade of the Ruin King, now building up towards the Trinity Force.
Why does Knight hate Morello? I don't understand. Like, I understand the Zhonya's, I understand that he wants to survive, but now his pick potential as an assassin is so mitigated. He's literally gone the other direction.
No damage. Where's the damage?
That's what I'm like. He's literally gone the other way. Like in game 1, he was full DPS burst. He got death cap. He went proto belt into like death cap into void staff. This game, he said, you know what, I died too much last game. Let's not die. And sure, he will not die, but I feel like his pick potential has been severely mitigated. Like arguably, you have other damage sources in Memento and the Varus, so you can get away with it. But I feel like that it takes away from the core of Ahri and what she's all about.
Okay, I want to question you on this point. Not because I think you're wrong, because I totally agree this Ahri has no damage. My question is, does she need the damage at the moment? Because you've got a Rumble, you've got a Fed Varus, you've got a Graves. Amazing caught out off towards the side here. We'll be able to dodge around. Is it Does she need that burst?
Well, she could use it right now, as it looks like Fnatic. They're just going to force down this tower. Could Giants force
comes out. Here comes Memento as well. The equalizer is superb. Fnatic flashing away, trying to escape. Collateral damage in as well. Flashes with the flank. But look at this. Giants say, we don't want the fight. We just want mid lane. They're going to force it up, and Fnatic really can't react.
Bear in mind now, look, there's a minion wave pushing up mid. Look at all the vision control around Baron, the health bars of Fnatic Academy. This is actually a window for Giants to either force a fight around Baron or go for the objective itself.
Ultimate's not there, though. No chain of corruption, no equalizer, no collateral damage. Fnatic have all of theirs. Giants have set this up. Not spotted out. Fnatic Kikis to go in. He's going to the depths of the river, and he gets taken out, but a double knockup is great. He's so tanky. Depth charge won't survive for the moment. Taken out. Giants will get one kill. It felt like they could get a lot more there.
Still, they get the pick down onto Kikis. That's a 30-second death timer, which is going to give them a lot more control around the map. They can look to either go towards the Drake, or they can just look to reassert their vision around the Baron area. Giants have options now, and the fact that Kikis, they also got the flash out of him as well, is an absolutely fine play. I like the decision-making process from Giants. They didn't overchase for the fight. They utilized the pushing wave in mid to move towards the Baron, and then they made the decision. We're not going to commit for this objective. Instead, we're just going to bait Fnatic out. If they send multiple members, maybe we can force a fight. If they send just the one, we get the kill. We'd be happy with that.
And we talked about it. It's adaptability. It's changing the way your mindset is between games. Giants game one, we criticized their decision-making. We said at times they went too over-greedy for the play. They went a bit too over-eager. Here, played it a bit more patiently. They lose a Cloud Drake. Not the end of the world. They'll get some vision around the Baron once again. And they're playing much more to the top side of this map now. Big wave pushing in onto Kikis. He'll clear that out with a Riptide. And now Giants just try and set up, try and deny any vision Fnatic Academy might have around the big purple work.
So now if you're Giants, if you want to play around the Baron, you need to have Flaxish back down in the bottom lane. You need to have this top lane pushing out, ideally along with your mid.
Chain of Corruption just missed.
Oh, so it did. So now that pick potential is going to be reduced from the side of Giants. It means playing around this Baron is going to be all that much harder. But right now, Giants, they need to get their line assignments in order. Having Hiku in mid is fine. He's got good wave clear. You also have the Graves hanging around here as well. Let's see if Giants... I feel like they shouldn't try and force anything right now. They should just be patient. Wait for the Ahri to push up top. We'll likely concede them this tower in mid.
They lose their third tower of the game. Equalized turrets now. Only 2,000 gold lead for Giants. That has shrunk a little bit. Memento has a bit of a flank on here. Flaxish does have TP as well, and Knight is on his way down. They know that Knight's not spotted out because they cleared the vision already. Amazing. Not going to be able to connect. Here's the TP by Flaxish, looking for the equalizer. Here we go. Big fight on the horizon. Clyde caught out. Equalizer on the back line. Clyde low, taken down. Rales, the next target as Knight jumps in. He gets the kill. Hiku actually securing that one, and Giants set up the play so perfectly and take down two members of Fnatic.
And notice that Niski, he's being zoned off to the side, so Giants, they can keep hitting onto this tower because there's no wave clear available for Fnatic Academy. There is a lot of vision control around the Baron. Do they look to try and go for it, or do they go for the safer play? That tier 2 is prime and juicy right now. After, remember, Knight had already set up that lane earlier on.
This is such better play from Giants. Safer, more methodical, much more like an LCS team here. They're taking objective after objective. They're playing around vision control. They're denying Fnatic an insight into the game, and by doing that, they're extending their gold lead to 5,000.
But I do think that Giants, they've made a slight mistake here because a few of the members have tried to go back, and this is giving a window for Fnatic to try and force a fight.
Three members of Fnatic here, straight on to Knight, jumps in, knocked back. Niski off towards the side. The Zhonya's, it's so powerful, Vedius, it does so much. Gets taken out anyway. Niski gets the kill. Fnatic Academy get one on the backswing, but is that going to be enough for them to call for this Baron? It feels like that's where they're going, at least to deny some vision. They're just going to do it. They're just going to do it.
5 members. Memento, he's alive though. Level 14 to the 13 of Amazing. The ultimate of Rumble is not quite up just yet. If they can buy some time, this could be massive for Giants.
Collateral damage is there though. 5,000 HP on the Baron. Amazing's there, tagging it up. Memento off towards the side, he's going in, he stole the Baron! And that could be the nail in Fnatic's coffin. He even gets out. Fnatic Academy just make the play once again. Baron stolen.
Unbelievable, Fnatic Academy. You guys had 5 members.
Lozar's shaking his head just like, not like this. Not like this. 100% win rate, but not like this,
oh
guys.
My word, that is just unbelievable. Fnatic Academy, why do you go for that gamble? Why do you not even try to stop Memento? Like, they have such a good comp for stopping Memento too. Like, you have the Clyde Polymorph, you've got the stun from Niski, you've got the ultimate from Kikis.
You got Kick from Amazing.
I think that was on cooldown though, because of what it was used top lane. So,
I think though, we can say that was bad from Fnatic, but I think we also have to look at how good it was from Giants. They'd already got vision control around there. Memento was able to get in, smite it away.
The reality is, like, Giants should not have been allowed to get, like, 4 versus 5 that freely walk up. And this just backtracks to what we were talking about in game 1. Remember, Fnatic just gave away so much of the control every time Giants wanted to try and contest an objective. And this is a prime example. They literally just let Giants do whatever they wanted. Memento walked behind the pit. He walked, right? And he just said, I'm going to step over this wall here. Wonderful. Hello, Purple Worm. You will now be mine. And then he walked out again.
Credit to him, though. Memento has had this experience in promotion tournaments before. Of course, played with Roccat, kept them up. Now he's looking to keep Giants up, of course.
Okay, so this is a long replay. This is a long replay. So you can see here, this is a good forced fight from Giants, where Flaxish gets a really good Rumble ultimate off, and then they're able to get the chase down onto 2 members of Fnatic Academy. The bottom lane is gone, right? Then we see, like, just watch Memento, right? He walks, no one's trying to stop him. No one's trying to stop him. Walks over, and steals it with the smite. Like, again, good steal from Memento, but like with 5 members of Fnatic in the pit, you should be able to coordinate your CC, you should be able to have vision of Memento. Anyway, I'm harping on a little bit too much about it. Let's focus back onto Giants. They now have the Baron. They're looking to siege into the base of Fnatic Academy. There is only 1 outer tower down in the bottom lane for them. Cloud Drake is available soon, but this is where it's important to set up your lanes already for Giants. They need to get the Varus and the Karma and the Graves in mid, send Knight off to the bottom lane, Flaxish up off to the top, and then start sieging with all 3 lanes onto the base of Fnatic Academy.
I want to come back to Hiku's build as well, because we've seen a massive shift in Varus builds from the lethality builds we were seeing a lot. He's now gone Blade of the Ruin King into Runans, into more of Malmortius. What is it that this build is trying to do?
It's much more of a team-fighting DPS style of build, playing more towards the Blight stack so that you have... it's very traditional AD carry, right? So it reminds me of like an Ashe build.
Right, Hiku's other favorite champion.
Yeah, but teams... hang on, ultimate comes
Chain
out.
lands, equalizer down as well. Rollins is the target, but he's able to jump out the back. Kikis locks onto Flaxish. Here come the redemptions. Amazing. Charmed up and jumps out. Niski takes out Flaxish, and Fnatic have defended against the Baron. They take down 1. Koobs is happy with that. Fnatic looking for the chase. Kikis lands the dredge line onto Hiku. Not going to be able to get the knock up. No knockback either. Knight jumps in. Takes Cly low, and that Cly is going to fall. Lulu down. Fnatic now on the retreat, backing away, but those Dark Spheres do a lot of damage. Memento perhaps stayed too long. Going to get jumped on. He's taken out. Giants just overcommit and lose 2 members.
Credit is worth giving credit over to Kikis because he actually lands a really good hook onto Flaxish. After he drew tower aggro from landing the Rumble ultimate onto Rales, you then chain that with all the single target CC that you have on the side of Fnatic, results in a very swift kill. But then Giants, or Fnatic, they get a little bit too greedy because they keep trying to force the fight, and Giants have really good turnaround potential. So while they get a kill onto Cly, they're the ones to then overstay, and it just brings us back to what we had in game 1.
It's a seesaw.
It is so back and forth because teams, they get too over-eager, they see a window of opportunity, and they climb through it too much that their leg gets stuck. They trip, they faceplant onto the floor, and then the other team is just like, and they beat on them, they take advantage, and then they're like, oh, you're on the floor, what are you going to do about it?
Reminds me of, you know, like one of those classic wrestling matches like at WrestleMania where, you know, the crowd favorite steps up, starts getting beaten down by the enemy, and then eventually he comes back and almost wins, but then it looks like he's just about to lose, and then it looks like he's just about to win again. And this looked like Giants were going to win. Let's
illustrate this here. So you can see right now, like, this is a good hook onto Flaxish. He gets nuked down very quickly. He doesn't have his Zhonya's just yet. Giants, they're forced to disengage at this point. And Fnatic, they should be happy. They go, no, we want to keep forcing the fight. We think that we can win it. Hiku ends up being the lamb in this situation. But then remember all the re-engage that they have available to them. All the dashes, the Karma shields. And then Giants are the ones that overstay because they think, oh, we're 4 versus 3. We can win this fight. The rest of the team realize Mentor's like, oh, okay, I guess we're disengaging. And so he ends up losing his life. So very back and forth.
However, credit to the bot lane of Giants here. Hiku still unkilled, hustling as well. No much more for his melee carries. Has had a great performance on this Karma. Still one of his most played this split. Really made Mr. Rales and Cly struggle. We haven't seen Mr. Rales kicking off like he did in the last game. Haven't seen him aggressively jumping forward with that help picks, with that whimsy to buff him up.
Well, he didn't quite have the start. He was the one that was in the deficit during the laning phase this time, so Fnatic have played much more towards the top half of the map. Kikis was the main focus for Amazing. Remember all the ganks that he invested into the top lane. But now let's see, what's the plan now for Fnatic? They have a wave pushing against them up in the top lane. They're looking to get some deep vision around the top half of the map. Baron's going to be spawning in about a minute's time. They want to try and get a pick down onto Knight.
Knight's going to be able to dodge away, though. The Spirit Rush is used. Low on mana, so didn't want to go any further. But it's a big ultimate down. Baron up in a minute. The cooldown will be back up for that, so not the end of the world. Perhaps we're hoping for Knight to flash away there. Fnatic once again set up. 4,000 gold lead, though, for Giants, and this time they are the team ahead. Last time, they were able to win, even though they were this amount of gold behind. The question is, can Fnatic turn the tables and win this game? Hiku jumps in onto Mr. Rollers straight away. Uses the QSS to get away from the chain of corruptions. That's a big flash used there by Hiku.
I like the play style, trying to find a pick, but I also think it was a risky play because now you don't have that flash available for later on in these big team fights. Remember that Niski, his target is going to be you, Hiku. You do not have a QSS, while you do have that more of Malmortius, which will help with the burst. With all that penetration that Niski has available, it could be risky.
Big thing about vision control here, Vedius. I know it's one of your favorite topics. Look at the difference in totems between these two teams. Amazing still has his warding totem, no control wards in his inventory. There is an Oracle's Alteration on Clyde, but that's the only one on the team. Compare that to Giants, who have 3 Oracle Alterations and 6 control wards in their inventories. There's such a big difference for ability to gain control. So Kai is really the only member of Fnatic that can clear wards around any big objective.
It is making things a little bit difficult. But in the meantime, Fnatic, they do have a lot of good vision control around that side. Oh wow, Giants, they've come in for the flank. They're going to try and force a fight right now.
Huge teleport flank. Equalizer is up. So many ultimates. Hiku engaged on them, and Amazing's there. Hiku's low. Hiku's dead. Rana's on the backline, taken out so low by Blackshiz. Eventually gets killed. Zonya's by the Rumble. Knight caught up towards the side, uses the Zonya's of his own. But Fnatic are going to just continue to chase him in. Memento tried to flash onto Clyde. The fight going off on 2 different sides. Knight chased away. Dredgeline doesn't hit. The charm lands. Now Niski's continuing to pound down on towards Memento. Knight is low. There's the Dredgeline. There's the RE going down. 2 kills for Fnatic.
And remember, we talked about Hiku not having his flash available. Niski lands that single stun, and the entire Fnatic lineup collapsed on top of him. This is a risk that you have by not going for like the 4th item QSS, going for all that damage. And now Giants, they've overextended mid.
Hustling will spot them out. Memento dodges away with the quick draw. No depth charge up for the moment. No ults really from anyone. This is going to be a brawl. This is going to be a Barney. Memento quick draws away once again. Fnatic just being ring around the rosies here. But Hustling is caught. He's dead. Unleash power onto Memento. Keep going for the chase. Amazing. There's the depth charge coming back off cooldown, and Memento goes down. Fnatic Academy will turn their eyes towards the Baron once again.
And that was a big mistake from Giants. They 2 members push up the mid lane. They either thought that Fnatic had already started the Baron, but regardless, they did not respect the possibility of Fnatic lying in wait for the possible collapse. Now here comes the equalizer.
There's an equalizer up. Is it gonna be once again a Baron steal? Amazing jumps onto Blackshiz, takes him down. Amazing so low. Will survive. Does still have the smite. Hiku might try and steal with a long range snipe. Can't get it. Fnatic Academy eventually secure themselves a Baron, and at 35 minutes, Vedius, the gold is basically even.
So what we know about the game is that we've still got another 15 minutes of gameplay. You can see here, really good hook onto Hiku. He can't dodge it because he has no summoner spells available. While Giants are able to turn around the fight by getting the kill onto Rales, they've invested so many resources. It's one of those situations where if you don't kill those primary targets, because you rely so heavily on your ultimates for Giants, that there's no way you can win the rest of the fight. And because it gets split up, then it ends up going in favor of a Fnatic. Now, bear in mind, Fnatic, they end up only getting 2 kills to 1 in this situation, but then for some reason, Giants, they decide to push up mid without having full knowledge of where Fnatic Academy were. This gives Fnatic Academy an easy route straight towards that Baron, because if they're able to kill 2 kills, pick up 2 kills with one of them being the jungler, then this is just Giants giving away a free Baron, and it goes back to what we're seeing from this series, where both teams opening and closing that window pretty damn quick.
And this is the fight around the Baron, of course. Blackshiz gets taken out, almost gets Amazing, which would have allowed Hiku the possibility of a steal, but Amazing still being alive made it very easy for Fnatic Academy to secure that Baron. The question now comes, though, Vedius. What can Fnatic Academy do with this Baron power play? Because we saw when Giants stole it in Game 1, they got 4,000 gold out of it. Fnatic Academy have 1,000 out of this one thus far. haven't taken a tower down. We'll be looking down towards, maybe? No, I don't think they took a tower. They'll be looking down towards this bottom one. All 5 members grouped up down here, and they're just going to continue this push in. Giants are very slow to react. They'll lose at least 1 tower here, and actually Fnatic might continue the push in. 2 members coming back, but will they be here quick enough to stop this inhibitor tower falling?
See now, Giants, they thought that maybe if they send 2 members mid, they can punish Fnatic.
Equalizer, the tower's still alive, pounding onto Kickers. Redemption comes out, tower falls, Kickers there, GA available. Now Fnatic will just try and disengage if they can. Here comes the counter Redemption. Fnatic, they're just looking for it. They're looking for the moment. They're looking for Amazing to make that big play, to jump in with the Sonic Wave. Just needs to hit 1. He jumps across. Safeguard. Sonic Wave misses. Fnatic now want that inhibitor. Both Redemptions used, of course. No healing left in this fight. The dredge line doesn't connect. The inhibitor's going to fall. Giants give it up. And Fnatic get themselves an inhibitor and may have turned this game around.
Fnatic Academy reclaim control. They decide to just group up mid, utilize the big minion wave that they had down in the bottom lane to just break through the base of Giants, taking advantage of the mispositioning of Giants, who decided to just rush it down mid. And now Fnatic are setting their eyes on this Elder Drake.
The TP's going to come in, and there's no equalizer, but they can just chase in. There's a flash for Flaxus coming off cooldown now, and the Elder Drake is down to 6,000. It's a big dragon to have. Here comes the TP in by Kickers. He's got the flank. Fnatic just want the fight. They don't care about the Drake. All they want is Flaxus. They go back to the dragon, though perhaps they do care just a little bit. They'll get their Elder Drake, and now they can continue the chase. Flaxus almost has equalizer. Hiku flash back up. Chain of Corruption almost up. Collateral damage as well. So many ultimates available for both these teams. The chase off onto Flaxus up towards the top side. Clyde doing a great job. And Fnatic get the Elder Drake. They've got a Baron still for a couple of seconds longer, probably about 30 seconds. What can they get with this, Vedius?
Well, bear in mind there's a big minion wave on the top lane, but Fnatic, they still haven't backed after that big play in the bottom lane. They're still sitting on a lot of gold, and Giants, they're getting a lot of their ultimates back available. Could this be the window that Giants need to try and reclaim some control?
The inhibitor tower's going to fall. Look at how quickly they melt through it. Kicker splashes in, misses the dredge line, but there's going to be a second inhibitor going down. Fnatic Academy, we talk about Baron power plays. Well, there's one for you. 4,000, 2 inhibitors, an Elder Drake on top, and they might even go for this tower in the top lane.
This is a little bit risky from Fnatic.
I've said that about every play they've made.
Yeah, well, this entire series is risky, but Fnatic, they don't care. They live on the edge, and right now, they're looking to make it a possible 3rd inhibitor. My word, this is a massive play from Fnatic.
This is hugely risky. They're sitting on huge gold numbers, 3,000 on both of their carries at the moment, but they don't care. All they want is objectives. They will back away eventually, just waiting for this next minion wave to push in. No Baron buff, of course, it can be cleared out pretty quickly by Hiku. The flank is available for Memento. Chain of Corruption on Amazing, not the target you want. He can always dodge away. The next minion wave is a long, long way away, but Super's in the bot, Super's in the mid. Can Giants hold?
I think they can. They're still doing fine. They're doing reasonably well on levels. They have the wave clear from Ari down in the bottom lane. The Elder Dragon currently still has about 30 seconds left, so Fnatic have room to play with. They want to use it as much as they possibly can. And here we go.
Steps forward once again, taking aggro. Here's the equalizer. That's superbly placed. Knight jumps in, but gets knocked back. The dredge line onto Hiku. He's got no flash, and he's got no life. Hiku's dead. Fnatic get the kill, and now Giants will have to back away. Kickers can tank this up. He gets onto Flaxus, though. He doesn't want to tank. Knight gets exhausted. The Zonya straight away, but now he's in the midst of 5 members of Fnatic. A godlike Niski, a godlike Fnatic Academy, and they're looking for the win.
Fnatic Academy, after a single Elder Dragon, they don't need to go back to base because they're looking to end the game and make this a 1-1.
10 minutes earlier than last game, but once again, the first blood means you're going to lose. Fnatic Academy will take the win, and they'll equalize the series 1-1.
You can see the happy faces of the Fnatic Academy members, feeling pretty pleased with that game, but I still think
I love these games.
They should be mindful of that earlier Baron that they gave away.
No, it works for them. Just let them keep doing what they're doing. It seems to work. No, on a serious note, though, Vedius, it was great from Fnatic to capitalize when they could. However, it's still not clean. It's still not something.
Look.
Doesn't know what's going on. I think let's look at Giants, because last time when Fnatic lost, we looked at Fnatic. Let's look at Giants. What is it that they need to do? Because they had the lead again in the early game. Why weren't they able to capitalize on that?
I think that they forced a lot of really good fights. I just think that when they were able to get a big advantage, they didn't properly know how to take advantage of that. And
I guess they're not used to it.
Twice, right? Well, no, like they definitely know how to use leads. We've seen them do it in the past, but I feel like that they were perhaps playing a little bit too reserved. They were too afraid of the possibility of what Fnatic could do. Because, I mean, Fnatic, they have a decent pick composition themselves, right? But for the majority of that game, it was Giants who are now more in control. And I think one of the big issues was Flaxish ended up getting caught out quite a lot. Not only did he really suffer during the laning phase, but during later on into the game, he made a lot of risky plays, which are very easy to abuse from the side of Fnatic.
I think the thing is, though, if you're Giants, you have to expect that, because Flaxis burnt his flash really early on. Amazing was able to continue going for those ganks. You have to think that, as a team, you should be able to play around that and react.
Well, it's a difficult one, right? Like, again, I think it really comes back to this communication within both teams, because many times, like, you know that flash hook at the end for Kickers? I wonder how much that was communicated rather than, like, it's one of those instances where as you flash hook in, you go, I'm flash hooking, I'm flash hooking! And it's like, T, where are you? Fortunately, Amazing was there to follow up on that, but it's one of those things where I think that not only Flaxish and the rest of Giants, they're not properly communicating their intentions and they're not thinking entirely ahead with what they can do in the future. It's both teams just deciding on a play, and then it depends on how well the other team can react to it, right? So when a Baron starts, it's like, okay, how well will they be able to secure this? If a Dragon started, can we contest? Let's give it a go. It's very back and forth.
That it is. Well, you guys might have to wait 97 years to get some Szechuan sauce, but we're going to be back in 3.5 minutes with Game 3. Gets the death charge onto Hiku, who flashes the wall. Flax is now caught off guard, but Knight catches Mr. Rales. Hiku takes him out. It's to go in. He's going to the depths of the river, and he gets taken out, but a double knockup is great. Memento off towards the side. He's going in. He stole the Baron! And that could be the nail in Fnatic's coffin. He even gets out, but Hustlin is caught. He's dead. Unleash power onto Memento. Keep going for the chase. Amazing. There's the death charge coming back off cooldown, and Memento goes down.
Whoa, I will stand Ari. Nice, mid, just go on mid and end it.
Because they're looking to end the game and make this a 1-1.
10 minutes earlier than last game, but once again, the first blood means you're gonna lose. Fnatic Academy will take the win, and they'll equalize the series 1-1.